After wasting your entire first life on a gold-digging girlfriend, you opened your eyes in the hotel suite of the billionaire CEO you had rejected for 4 straight years. Aurelia Voss sat beside you with a marriage agreement in one hand and a pen in the other. "Sign it," she said. "Cut Dahlia Hart out of your life, become my husband, and tell me what you want. A penthouse, a private jet, an unlimited account. Pick something unreasonable." In your last life, you had torn that agreement in half and run back to Dahlia like the world's most loyal idiot. 7 years later, Dahlia stole your family's billion-dollar vehicle technology, handed it to her real boyfriend, framed you for the theft, and watched Pierce Motion collapse. Your father suffered a stroke. Your mother sold the family home. Then someone cut the brakes on your car and sent you through a mountain guardrail. So now heaven had loaded your old save file and placed the same contract in front of you.
Were you seriously going to choose the same route? Absolutely not. You grabbed the pen so quickly Aurelia pulled the hand back. 3 conditions, you said. Her eyes narrowed. She had prepared herself for disgust, not negotiation. How much more money? This isn't about money. No secret surveillance. No interfering with my university work or my family's company behind my back. And if we marry, I'm your partner, not a collectible you keep in a penthouse. Aurelia stared at you as though the decorative husband had suddenly developed legal opinions. You are bargaining with me? Would you respect me if I signed without reading? No? Then update the agreement. That answer hit her right in the ego. Unfortunately for her, it also made her interested. She crossed the suite, opened her laptop, and rewrote the document herself. 5 minutes later, a second copy slid from the printer. Your conditions sat beneath a new clause called mutual autonomy and informed consent.
You read the page twice. Then you signed your name. Landon Pierce. Aurelia looked down at the signature. Her perfectly controlled expression lasted about 3 seconds before the corners of her mouth betrayed her. You really agreed? I did. You aren't going to accuse me of trapping you? That was exactly what the old you had done. The memory made you want to reach backward through time and slap yourself with the contract. The night before had been mutual. You had kissed her in the elevator. You had followed her upstairs. When she asked whether you were sure, you had answered yes every single time. Dahlia had spent years teaching you that any woman who wanted you must be dangerous, while taking your money with both hands. Good grief. Your previous judgment deserved to be recalled by the manufacturer. No accusation, you said, but I do have one more request. Aurelia's smile vanished. Name the amount. You pulled her closer and kissed her.
For one shocked second, she froze. Then the famous ice-cold CEO wrapped both arms around you and kissed back so hard that your reborn brain nearly forgot why it had returned. When you separated, her face was warm and her breathing was not remotely executive. That benefit was not written into the agreement, she murmured. Add it. Greedy man. You told me to ask for something unreasonable. Then prepare for unreasonable performance reviews. Holy hell. You had remembered Aurelia as the woman who tried to save you at the end of your ruined life. You had forgotten that one sentence from her could sound like a promise, a threat, and an invitation at the same time. Your phone buzzed on the bedside table. Dahlia's name appeared with 6 new messages. Where are you? You promised breakfast before my lecture. Don't forget the Valene handbag. They only have one left. If you embarrass me again, I won't speak to you all week. And bring the vanilla coffee, not caramel.
Aurelia read over your shoulder. The softness left her face so quickly, the room temperature seemed to drop. Your girlfriend is hungry. My former girlfriend doesn't know she has been promoted to stranger. Fix that. You opened the chat. 4 years of messages stared back at you. Dahlia asked for meals, rides, tuition payments, phones, assignments, concert tickets, and gifts. Your side contained apologies, love confessions, and promises to work more hours. Her most affectionate response was a heart emoji sent after you paid a deposit. The evidence was so humiliating that if the mountain crash had not killed you, this chat history might have finished the job. You typed one message. Dahlia, We are finished. I will not bring breakfast, buy the bag, pay another bill, or complete another assignment for you. Return my engineering access card by noon. If you use it after this message, I will report it. You pressed send. The reply arrived before you could put the phone down.
What childish game is this? If you're angry because I danced with Corbin, grow up. Bring the bag and apologize before class. Then maybe I'll forgive you.
Aurelia held out her hand. Give me the phone.
Why?
I want to calculate 4 years of unpaid labor and send her an invoice.
Tempting, but no.
You wrote, "There is nothing to forgive. Do not contact me again." Then you blocked her. Aurelia checked the screen to make sure you had really done it. Good. You sound like you're training a puppy. Puppies learn faster. Your husband can still change his mind. Her stare sharpened. Try it. There it was. The jealousy meter had entered the red zone less than 10 minutes into the engagement. You tapped the agreement. Ask. Don't command. For a moment, neither of you moved. Then Aurelia forced her fingers to unclench. Will you tell me if you change your mind? Yes. I won't, but yes. That tiny correction mattered. In the old timeline, you saw her possessiveness and assumed Dahlia must be right about everything. Now you understood that jealousy was an emotion. Control was a decision. Aurelia could feel whatever storm she wanted. She still had to respect your choices. Get dressed, she said. I have a board call, and you have class. How do you know my schedule? I researched the man I planned to marry. Sounds suspiciously like surveillance. Due diligence. Very romantic. The walk-in closet contained enough men's clothing to open a department store. Everything was your size. Suits, jackets, shirts, shoes, watches. Not one price tag looked friendly. You turned toward Aurelia. You bought all this before last night? I prepared for several outcomes. What happened to the clothes if I rejected you? Donation. Then I would purchase the hotel and ban you from it. Healthy. I am improving already. You chose a simple shirt, dark trousers, and a jacket without loud logos.
Aurelia adjusted your collar, inspected you from every angle, and slipped a black bank card into your pocket. Your personal allowance is $50,000 a month, she said. Company expenses are separate. You nearly dropped the card. 50,000. Is it too little? Mother of God, she asked that with a straight face. I've never spent that much in a year. You will learn. I agreed to marry you. I did not apply to become expensive furniture. Aurelia folded your fingers over the card. The account is in your name. I cannot take the money back. Spend it, save it, invest it, or let it collect dust. I only want to make sure nobody can use poverty to control you again. That shut down your joke. Dahlia had always made every meal feel like a debt you owed her, even when you paid for it. Aurelia was handing you independence and refusing the key. Thank you, you said. Her ears warmed. Do not become sentimental before breakfast. The elevator took you to the private garage. Aurelia's security chief waited beside a row of sedans. Theo Grant was built like a door that had learned to wear a suit. Mr. Pierce, he said. Theo. You remembered him from the previous life. He had followed you for months, trying to keep you alive while you repeatedly escaped to meet Dahlia. At the time, you called him Aurelia's attack dog. Looking back, the dog had been the only creature in the situation with common sense. Aurelia stopped beside a covered vehicle. My husband needs transportation. I have a motorcycle. It has cracked tires, a leaking fuel line, and a damaged brake disc. Due diligence? Your death wish was visible from the street. Theo pulled away the cover. A black and gold Bugatti Chiron Supersport waited underneath. Your brain disconnected. The body looked carved from polished darkness. A gold line followed the doors. Carbon fiber, hand-finished leather, and enough horsepower to rearrange a person's beliefs sat 3 steps away from you. Theo placed the key in your palm. This is mine? It was mine, Aurelia said. Now it is yours. You had expected money, maybe an apartment. You had not expected a $3 million hypercar before breakfast. Then your stomach tightened. The last car you owned had carried you through a guardrail after someone cut the brakes. A Bugatti was beautiful, but at full speed, it could turn sabotage into a weather event. You leaned into the cabin and noticed a small module beneath the central display. Phoenix Core.
Not the final system. An early road test unit from Pierce Motion Labs. Your father designed its hardware. You wrote part of its predictive code during your second university year. In the old timeline, Dahlia stole it 6 months from now and gave it to Corbin Shaw. Now the future of your family company was sitting inside your engagement gift.
Where did this come from? You asked.
Your father installed it last week, Aurelia said. Voss Global is considering a development partnership. The Bugatti is the stress test platform. The old you had destroyed that partnership. You accused Aurelia of buying your family through you, demanded that your father remove the module, and handed Dahlia the opening she needed. Wow. Previous Landon had not merely missed red flags. He had collected them and built a parachute. I want the car, you said. Aurelia smiled. Obviously. But not as a private gift yet. The vehicle stays joint test equipment until Phoenix is patented. I handle telemetry, and both companies receive the reports. After the patent, you can transfer it to me. Theo gave you the first approving look of the morning. Aurelia looked even happier. You are negotiating my gift away from yourself. I'm keeping my family's work from getting stolen. And after the patent, I keep the Bugatti. Greedy.
You like me, greedy. She stepped closer. Theo suddenly discovered a fascinating wall. Drive carefully, Aurelia whispered. If you scratch my husband, I will be angry. With me? With the road. You kissed her forehead, got behind the wheel, and started the engine. The sound rolled through the garage like thunder with a bank account. In your first life, you delivered cafeteria coffee to Dahlia while she laughed with the man destroying your family. In this life, you were driving a Bugatti to class while your billionaire fiancé paid for the fuel. Rebirth had finally issued a refund. Every traffic light became a public event. People raised phones. A delivery driver forgot to move when the signal changed. One man in a Ferrari looked at your car, looked at his own, and experienced an entire character arc before the light turned green. You kept your attention on the road and the Phoenix display. Phoenix Core was basically the brain that stopped powerful cars from becoming expensive coffins. It watched tire grip, steering angle, brake heat, battery load, and thousands of driver corrections. If something went wrong, it predicted the failure before panic took over. That was the simple explanation. The complicated explanation had eaten 3 years of your life and most of your father's patience. Theo followed in a security sedan. This time, nobody was secretly monitoring you. Aurelia had openly assigned protection to a prototype worth more than the Bugatti, and you had agreed. Apparently, communication could remove 90% of the creepy atmosphere. Who knew? Your phone connected to the dashboard. 23 missed calls appeared from unknown numbers. Dahlia had started outsourcing her outrage. Her roommate Kendra left the first message. Landon, what is wrong with you? Dahlia cried all morning. She defended you when everyone called you poor and useless. Bring the handbag and apologize. Dahlia had never defended you. She told people your poverty proved how generous she was for dating you. Corbin left the next message. Pierce, stop throwing a tantrum. Dahlia danced with me because the gala required partners. If you cannot handle normal social contact, you are not mature enough for a relationship. Same calm voice. Same superior tone. Same man who would steal your family's work and arrange your death. You saved both recordings in an evidence folder. No angry reply. No heroic threat. Corbin did not know you remembered him, and ignorance was the only gift you planned to give him. At Westbridge Technical University, the security barrier scanned the Bugatti and lifted automatically. The attendant looked at the registration, then at you, then at the registration again. Mr. Pierce, this is listed as a research platform. Correct. Engineering Annex 3. Students cannot park prototypes inside the faculty zone. Check the test engineer. He did. Your name appeared on the file because Aurelia's legal team worked at a speed usually associated with natural disasters. Have a good day, sir. You drove through while fighting the urge to smile, like a criminal who had found the law on his side. The faculty lot had 2 cameras and only a few cars. You parked where both lenses could see the Bugatti and activated secure mode. Theo folded his arms. You expect trouble? Dahlia still has my lab card. She will try to use it. Why not cancel it?
Because I want to see where she goes when she thinks nobody is watching. Aurelia will dislike that. Aurelia agreed to discuss plans before interfering. Theo's mouth moved slightly. It might have been a smile. You have been engaged for 1 hour and are already quoting the contract. That is why contracts have words. Your roommate, Milo Chen, came sprinting from the dorm with one shoe on and the other in his hand. Landon!
He stopped beside the Bugatti and bent over to breathe. Tell me this is yours. Jointly held test equipment. Speak human. My fiancée gave me a Bugatti. Milo slowly straightened. You had a girlfriend yesterday. Former girlfriend. You were miserable because she danced with Corbin. Temporary brain damage. And now a billionaire wants to marry you? Recovery was fast. He checked the back seat that did not exist, walked around the car twice, and lowered his voice. Are you being trafficked? Blink twice if you need help. You blinked once. Lucky bastard, he whispered. After asking permission 3 times, Milo climbed into the passenger seat. He touched nothing, photographed everything, and looked one emotional moment away from naming his future children after the car. You dragged him toward class before he tried to move into it. By the time you reached the engineering building, the campus group chats were exploding. Who owns the Bugatti? Mystery test driver at Westbridge. Is that Landon Pierce? The final post received hundreds of laughing reactions. Everyone knew you as the broke engineering student who repaired laptops, worked night shifts, and waited outside Dahlia's lecture hall holding iced coffee. The idea that you had arrived in a Bugatti sounded like mass hallucination. Dahlia waited outside your classroom. Kendra stood beside her with a phone already recording. Dahlia looked at your jacket, then your watch, then your face. Her calculation speed was impressive. She had not even seen the car yet, and the breakup was already becoming negotiable. Turn off the camera, you told Kendra. Why? Afraid people will see how you treat your girlfriend? Former girlfriend. And this hallway isn't your private show. Dahlia blocked your path. Breaking up by text is childish. I agree. So let me confirm it in person. We are over. The corridor went quiet. Her expression stiffened. You were supposed to apologize the moment she appeared. That was how the old routine worked. Because I danced with Corbin? Because you lied, used my money, demanded access to confidential work, and treated affection like a subscription service. Corbin is just the advertisement. What confidential work? I helped organize some boring files. Then give me the access card. Dahlia touched the chain beneath her collar. The card was hanging from it. I forgot I had it. Return it. After you calm down. Buy the handbag you promised, apologize in front of everyone, and I might forgive this little performance. You looked directly at Kendra's phone. Did the microphone catch that? Kendra lowered it. For the first time, Dahlia heard how the deal sounded outside her own head. You offered the bag, she snapped. I didn't force you. Correct. I changed my mind before buying it. Try it sometime. You held out your hand. The card. Now. Her eyes flicked toward the stairs. Corbin Shaw was watching from the landing. He wore a tailored coat and the relaxed smile of a man who thought every room already belonged to him. In your first life, that smile follows your family through court hearings, bankruptcy meetings, and funeral arrangements. This time, you smiled back. Corbin walked down. Is this really necessary? Yes. Dahlia helped with your student project. Removing her access before the final report could violate university policy. Phoenix Core is not a student project. Surprise flashed across his face. Tiny, quick, but you saw it. He knew the name. I never said it was, Corbin replied. You said she needed the card for a report. Which report concerns a project I had not mentioned until this second. Now the entire hallway wanted popcorn. Corbin recovered quickly. Everyone in automotive engineering has heard rumors about Pierce Motion's controller. Then everyone knows unauthorized access would be industrial espionage. Dahlia ripped the card from her neck and slapped it into your palm. Fine, take it. Driving one expensive car has made you arrogant. Milo whispered behind you. She hasn't seen it yet? Dahlia turned. Seen what? You walked into class without answering. Milo followed, grinning like the devil had given him front row seats. Professor Sato began the lecture. Dahlia sat 3 rows behind you and sent messages from new numbers for 40 straight minutes. Stop embarrassing me. Who bought those clothes? Kendra says the Bugatti is yours. Is that true? Did your family finally give you money? Call me during the break. We can fix this privately. Anger had transformed into curiosity before the lecture reached slide 12. Gold diggers responded quickly to market updates. You blocked every number. At noon, Professor Sato and university security joined you in the automotive laboratory. Dahlia's card logs showed 3 entries during the previous month, all after midnight.
Her course was marketing psychology. She had no reason to be near an engineering server.
Why was this not flagged? Professor Sato asked.
Because I gave her my authorized card, you said. That was my mistake. Admitting it hurt. Hiding it had destroyed your family once. The security officer checked the activity. She opened a directory called Phoenix Simulation. Download failed because external storage was disabled. In the old timeline, Dahlia convinced you to enable external drives 1 week later so she could transfer a presentation. Then she copied everything. The trap had already started closing, and she had no idea. Preserve the logs, you said. Replace the card with the same number, but no real permissions. If she tries again, record the attempt. Do not alert her. Professor Sato frowned. You want the university to run a trap? I want evidence preserved while Pierce Motion's attorneys request an investigation order. Then you called your father.
Harrison Pierce answered on the 4th ring.
You missed the gala review. No hello. That man could make concern sound like an invoice. Dad, somebody tried to reach Phoenix through my university account. Isolate the company's server and rotate every credential. Silence. Who? Dahlia used my card after midnight. Corbin knows the project name. How does Corbin know? That is what we're about to prove. Your father exhaled. Come to the office now. I have 2 classes. I'll arrive at 4. Prepare 6 months of access logs. This matters more than class. The old Landon skipped lectures whenever the company wanted free labor. The new one finishes his degree and receives a contract. 4 o'clock. You ended the call. Professor Sato stared at you. You grew a spine overnight? It was an unusually productive night. When you returned to the parking lot, nearly 100 students surrounded the Bugatti behind the safety line Theo had arranged. Milo stood near the hood, explaining its aerodynamics with the confidence of a man who had learned everything 15 minutes earlier. Dahlia pushed through the crowd. She saw the car. Then she saw you unlock it. Her face went blank. That single expression was worth at least half the purchase price. Landon, she called, suddenly using the gentle voice she saved for expensive restaurants. Can we talk? We already did. Privately. No. She reached for your sleeve. Theo stepped between you before her fingers landed. Please maintain distance, he said. Dahlia looked up at him. Who are you? Security. Her eyes returned to the Bugatti. Whose security? A black sedan entered the lot. Aurelia stepped out. The crowd recognized her immediately. Phones rose in one synchronized wave. She walked past all of them, stopped beside you, and held out a paper bag. You skipped breakfast, she said. You came to campus for that? I was nearby. Theo looked at the sky.
The nearest Voss office was 40 minutes away.
Aurelia noticed Dahlia, then noticed the hand still hovering near your sleeve. Who is this? Dahlia asked. My fiancée, you said. The campus lost its collective mind. Dahlia laughed once. It sounded broken. That isn't funny. Aurelia opened her phone and showed the digital engagement filing. I agree. It is legally binding, not comedic. You met him last night. I have known Landon for 4 years. He simply spent those years making a poor decision. Ouch. Accurate, but still ouch. Dahlia looked at you. So this is revenge? You found a rich woman and decided to humiliate me? No. Ending our relationship is not revenge. The crowd is here because of the car. And you approached me. You still love me. Your old self would have collapsed at those words. Now you heard the real sentence underneath them. You are still useful to me. Maybe I love the person I imagined, you said. She was never standing here.
Dahlia's eyes filled with tears so quickly that Kendra lifted her phone again. Aurelia leaned closer to you. May I say something unkind? No. May I think it loudly? That remains legal. She smiled at Dahlia with terrifying politeness. Our conversation is finished. Then she took your arm and led you to the Bugatti. You leaving with me? You asked. You have class. I am leaving with Theo. I only came to feed you. She handed you the bag. Inside were 2 breakfast sandwiches, coffee, and a note that read, "Do not accept food from suspicious former girlfriends." Your chest tightened. Aurelia saw your expression and immediately looked away. The chef wrote the note. The chef signed it with your initials. He is very committed. You kissed her cheek in front of the entire crowd. The Ice Queen froze. Then she entered the sedan with the faintest victorious smile. Dahlia watched the car leave. Corbin watched from the far edge of the lot. He was no longer smiling. Good. The enemy had finally realized the idiot from the first timeline was no longer available. At 4, you drove to Pierce Motion headquarters. The building looked strong from the outside. Steel, glass, and a silver emblem above the entrance. You remembered it 6 years later, with the logo removed and auction notices taped across the doors. Not this time. Your mother met you in the engineering wing. Marianne Pierce wore a lab coat, carried 2 tablets, and hugged you before asking whether the Bugatti's rear cooling loop was stable. Engineer first. Mother, half a second later. Aurelia called, she said. She says you're engaged. That was fast. She sent the agreement to our attorney and a background report on herself. Of course she did. Your father has been staring at one page for 20 minutes. Which page? The allowance. Harrison waited in the conference room with 3 attorneys and enough printed logs to bury a person. He looked at you, the Bugatti key, and the ring Aurelia had placed on your finger before leaving the hotel. Explain, he said. Dahlia is using my university access to reach Phoenix. Corbin knows enough to expose the leak. Someone inside Pierce Motion is giving them direction. I meant the engagement. Less urgent. Your mother sat beside him. For once, I agree with Landon. You reconstructed the breach. The University Mirror did not hold the complete Phoenix files. It synchronized test data from Pierce Motion using a rotating board token. Dahlia could steal the student credentials, but she needed someone inside the company to activate the token at the right time. Only 9 people had that authority. Your father wanted to cancel everything. If we shut it down now, they disappear, you said. Give each authorized user a different fake repository. Same project title, different marked data. Whoever opens a path for Dahlia tells us which account is compromised. The security director considered it. A canary package. Exactly. No functional source code, just believable files carrying unique signatures. Your father frowned. If they recognize the trap, they know we suspect them. They already know more than they should. Doing nothing is not caution. It is surrender with paperwork. That landed harder than you intended. In the first life, Harrison had dismissed every warning until the theft became public. He was not stupid. He was proud. He trusted titles, family names, and old agreements more than the frightened son standing in front of him. This time, you brought logs. Your mother opened the university records. 3 midnight entries, attempted access to Phoenix simulation. Corbin identified the project without being told. We run the trap. Harrison looked at her, then at you. Fine, he said, but legal controls the operation. Agreed. No shouting, no begging, no dramatic speech about the future. Evidence worked better than panic. Another valuable discovery from the Second Life handbook. The team created 9 fake packages. Each contained a different harmless flaw. One predicted the wrong battery temperature. One used a false encryption key. One referenced a controller model that did not exist. The package linked to your Uncle Malcolm included a unique timing table and a fake acquisition memo. Malcolm Pierce had served on the board for 18 years. He attended every birthday, called you nephew, and told your father that family loyalty mattered more than contracts. In the old timeline, he became acting chairman after your father's stroke and sold the remains of Pierce Motion to Shaw Automotive. You had considered him weak. Maybe he had never been weak. Maybe he had simply been waiting. At 7 that evening, the marked repository tied to Malcolm's token synchronized with the university mirror. Nobody else opened theirs.
The room went silent. Your father stared at the alert. There must be an explanation. There is, your mother said. Your brother is helping them. Harrison stood so quickly his chair hit the wall. Do not accuse him until we know. You understood the denial. You had defended Dahlia with the same desperate reflex. People did not protect lies because the evidence was weak. They protected lies because the truth would require mourning someone who was still alive. We know his token opened the path, you said. We don't know whether Malcolm used it himself. Keep watching. Harrison left the room without answering. Your mother rubbed both hands over her face. You became calm at a very inconvenient time. Would yelling help? No. But it would make me feel less like you're 7 years older than yesterday. Your heart stopped for half a beat. She was joking. You hoped. Before you could answer, your phone rang. Aurelia. Where are you? She asked. Pierce motion. We found the internal token. Whose? Malcolm's. Silence. I'm coming. No. The word came out too quickly. Explain, she said. If Voss security arrives, Malcolm may realize we're watching. I need you to stay out until we trace the download. You are asking me to leave my fiancée inside a company with an unknown conspirator. I'm asking you to trust my plan. Theo can remain outside. Her breathing changed. You could almost hear the possessive part of her trying to purchase the building and lock every door. Ask, don't command, you reminded her. Another silence. Will you call me every hour? Yes. Will Theo inspect the Bugatti before you drive? Yes. Will you leave immediately if Malcolm appears? If the situation becomes unsafe, yes. I hate this agreement. You wrote it. I was distracted by your face. Your mother pretended not to hear and failed. I'll call in an hour, you said. 50 minutes. Deal. After the call, Marianne raised one eyebrow. She sounds intense. She is. Are you safe with her? The question was simple and serious. Yes, we have rules. She listens when I enforce them. And do you listen when she is afraid? You thought about Aurelia asking you to leave the company. I'm learning. Your mother nodded. Then perhaps the engagement is not the craziest event today. At 8:12, someone downloaded Malcolm's fake package through Dahlia's replacement card. The university cameras showed Dahlia entering the lab in a cap and borrowed coat. Corbin waited in a car across the street. A second connection routed the files to a Shaw automotive server. There it was. The entire conspiracy had just signed its own attendance sheet. Legal preserved the evidence. Security locked the real Phoenix network behind offline keys. The fake package continued transmitting believable telemetry, so Corbin would not realize he had stolen garbage. You looked at the alert and smiled. In the old life, Dahlia took everything while you slept. This time, you had handed her a beautifully wrapped box, full of nothing. You left Pierce motion after 10. Theo inspected the Bugatti twice, then handed you the key with the expression of a man who expected the road itself to file an assassination request. Aurelia wants you at the penthouse, he said. Did she say wants or ordered? She said, and I quote, ask him to come home before I forget the wording of our agreement. Progress. Terrifying progress. The moment the elevator opened, Aurelia pulled you inside, checked your face, your hands, and the collar of your jacket. I'm not injured. You were 58 minutes late between calls. The meeting ran long. 8 minutes. You counted? She gave you a look that made the question feel stupid. You removed the Bugatti key and placed it on the counter. We caught Dahlia downloading Malcolm's marked package. Corbin received it. Legal has the chain of evidence. Then arrest them. Not yet. We have proof of unauthorized access, but not the internal conspiracy, the future sabotage, or who ordered it. If we move now, Corbin calls Dahlia an obsessed student, and Malcolm claims his token was stolen. He probably will. So we let them think the fake code is real. Aurelia paced to the window. The city glowed below the penthouse, but she looked at your reflection instead. You keep speaking as if you already know how this ends. That sentence hit too close. I know their pattern. From where? Dahlia lied to me for years. Corbin has never hidden what kind of man he is. Not exactly an answer. Aurelia noticed. She did not push. Instead, she pointed toward the dining table. Eat. There were 6 covered dishes, 2 soups, a tray of fruit, and enough food for a diplomatic summit. Are we expecting a board? I did not know what you wanted. You could ask. Her mouth tightened. What do you want?
Noodles. Nothing fancy.
Aurelia looked at the feast as if it had personally failed her. None of this? We'll save it. Sit down. I'll cook. You cannot use my kitchen after midnight. Is that in the agreement? It will be. 10 minutes later, you were making noodles while Aurelia stood beside you, pretending she was not watching every movement. You know how to cook, she said. 4 years of unpaid boyfriend service produced several marketable skills. Do not cook for her again. Wasn't planning to. Do not cook for any woman who flirts with you. What if Mom is hungry? Your mother receives an exception. Professor Sato? Why would you cook for Professor Sato? Testing the policy. She narrowed her eyes. Your new hobby is annoying me. It keeps the marriage young. You divided the noodles into 2 bowls. Aurelia took 1 bite and stopped. What? Nothing. You look offended. I paid a chef an absurd salary, and my husband prefers food made in 12 minutes. Your husband is easy to maintain. That is not the impression you created this morning. You nearly inhaled a noodle. Aurelia drank water with perfect innocence. The woman was learning comedy. Society was not ready. The next morning, Dahlia did not attend class. Corbin did. He sat in the seat beside you, as though the 2 of you were old friends. Nice car, he said. Thanks. Aurelia Voss moves quickly. So does the car. Be careful. Women like her enjoy owning people. The gift is never free. There was the hook. He wanted you afraid of Aurelia, angry at your family, and lonely enough to crawl back toward Dahlia. The exact same script had worked before. You decided to give him a performance. You think I don't know that? You muttered. Corbin leaned closer. Then why sign? Because I needed a way to make Dahlia jealous. His eyes changed. Got him. You stared at the lecture screen and let bitterness enter your voice. Aurelia thinks we're serious. I can handle her until Dahlia apologizes. Corbin hid his satisfaction behind concern. That is dangerous. I know what I'm doing. Do you? Voss security followed you all day. Exactly. I can't speak freely. Professor Sato entered, ending the conversation. Corbin returned to his seat with a new idea already forming. Milo looked at you. Please tell me you did not become stupid again overnight. You showed him the recorder running inside your notebook. Oh, he whispered. You're doing villain homework. Something like that. During the break, Corbin sent you an invitation to meet without security. Dahlia wanted to apologize, he claimed. She was too ashamed to approach while Aurelia watched. You forwarded the message to Theo and Aurelia. Aurelia called immediately. No. That is not a question. Will you please avoid walking into the obvious trap prepared by your murderous romantic rivals? Much better. And yes, I'm not going. Then why send it? Because I want you to see I'm not hiding the contact. She went quiet. Thank you, she finally said. 2 words. No command, no threat to purchase a prison. You counted it as a major relationship achievement. For the next 3 days, Corbin's fake Phoenix package reported perfect results. Shaw Automotive engineers tested it inside a simulator, never realizing the marked timing table would fail the moment a real battery crossed 47 degrees. You did not want a physical accident. The package had no complete control code, only enough data to prove possession. If they tried to install it, it would reject the hardware during startup. At least, that was the plan. Then Malcolm requested an emergency Pierce Motion Board meeting. His memo claimed the Voss partnership endangered company independence. Phoenix was behind schedule, and Harrison's health made him unfit to continue as chief executive. Your father read it twice and said nothing. Your mother read it once and used language that probably violated 3 human resources policies. Malcolm had moved earlier than he did in the old timeline. Your changes were forcing everyone off schedule. Future knowledge was becoming less useful by the hour. The board meeting was set for Monday. Before that came Aurelia's birthday. You discovered the date by accident when Theo asked whether you had selected a gift. Her birthday is tomorrow. Theo looked genuinely disappointed in you. You signed a marriage agreement without checking. I had recently returned from being dead. My calendar was crowded. Excuse me? Nothing. What is she like? You, control, quiet evenings, in that order.
That is not helpful.
Last year, a director organized a ballroom celebration with 400 guests. She fired him before the cake arrived. Why? Theo hesitated. Her mother used birthdays for corporate announcements. Every party became an auction where investors discussed Aurelia's future marriage. She dislikes being displayed, so a giant surprise party was out. Good. Your bank account might be billionaire sponsored, but your survival instinct remained middle class. You visited the engineering workshop after class and built a small model roadster by hand. No logo, no diamond coating. The base contained 2 seats, because the old version of Aurelia's life always seemed to have room for only one person. Then you bought fresh ingredients with your own wages. At the penthouse, Aurelia found you hiding a wooden box behind your back. Her eyes narrowed. What did you break? Nothing. What did you buy? Technically, parts. Landon, happy birthday. She froze. No smile, no surprise.
Just a stillness that made you wonder whether Theo had given you the wrong date. Who told you? Theo. He talks too much. He said you hate parties, so there isn't one. You placed one bowl of longevity noodles on the table and handed her the box. Aurelia lifted the lid. The model roadster rested inside. For a long moment, she touched nothing. You made this? The steering is slightly crooked. It adds personality. Why 2 seats? Because I planned to be annoying you for a while. Her fingers closed around the tiny car. She looked down before you could see too much in her expression. This gift cost perhaps $40, she said. 32. You have access to $50,000 a month, and yet you're holding it like someone offered you a country. Aurelia set the model down and walked into your arms. She did not say thank you.
She simply held you, face pressed against your shoulder, with the quiet desperation of someone who had spent years receiving expensive things selected by assistants. You held her back. After a minute, she whispered, "Do not leave. Tonight? Ever." The honest answer was not the romantic one. "I choose you now," you said. "I'll keep choosing honestly. I won't promise a future while hiding what I feel." Aurelia pulled away. Pain flashed across her face. "You cannot even say forever?" Dahlia said forever whenever she needed something. "I want my words to mean more than that." She looked at the model, then at you. "Fine," she said. "Choose me tomorrow as well." "Gladly." You ate noodles on the floor beside the window because Aurelia said the formal table felt like a board meeting. She told you about her mother. You told her how your father turned every family dinner into an engineering review. Neither story was dramatic enough for a headline, but both explained more than money ever could. Near midnight, she opened a small safe and removed a set of vehicle documents. Another contract. The complete Bugatti ownership transfer. It was supposed to be your gift tonight. We agreed after the patent. I know. She fed the unsigned papers into the shredder. That action cost her more than the car. She had wanted to surprise you. She chose the boundary instead. You kissed her until the noodles went cold. The following morning, a fire alarm woke you at 6:14. Not in the penthouse, at Westbridge. The university security system reported smoke inside Automotive Annex 3, followed by an attempted entry using Dahlia's dead card. You were dressed in 90 seconds. Aurelia blocked the bedroom door. You promised to avoid unsafe situations. I promised to leave if one became unsafe. Fire crews are already there. The car stays. Theo drives. Agreed. No argument. No dramatic escape. You took the sedan because a functioning partnership was less exciting than reckless heroism and far more useful. At Westbridge, the fire was already contained. Someone had ignited a trash bin near the records office, forcing evacuation while another person entered the automotive lab through a service corridor. The Phoenix server was offline. The Bugatti was not there, but a portable road test module had been stored in the lab's safe. The safe stood open, empty. Professor Sato looked ready to throw someone through the wall. Only faculty and Pierce Motion had the updated code. "Malcolm," you said. Theo reviewed the corridor footage. The intruder wore maintenance clothing and a mask, but one camera caught his wrist when the sleeve moved. A Pierce Motion executive access band. Theodore activated the exterior feed. Vehicle leaving the loading zone. Gray van. Aurelia looked at you. You are not chasing it. I'm not.
She seemed almost disappointed that she could not win an argument.
Voss security tracked the van through traffic cameras. Police stopped it 12 minutes later. The driver was a contract technician who had received instructions through an encrypted account. The module was not in the van. The driver had dropped it into another vehicle in the underground passage beneath the university hospital. That car belonged to Landon Pierce. By 8, police were waiting at his home. They found the road test module in his study, wrapped inside an anti-static bag. They also found 3 encrypted phones, cash transfers from a Shaw subsidiary, and a $1 acquisition agreement giving Shaw Automotive first rights to Pierce Motion if Harrison lost the board vote. Malcolm was arrested while insisting the evidence had been planted. Your father watched the footage without blinking. He taught me to drive, Harrison said. Nobody knew what to say.
You remembered Dahlia across the courtroom in your old life. You remembered defending her even after the transfer logs appeared. Betrayal did not hurt less because the proof was perfect. I'm sorry, you said. Your father nodded once. Then the company lawyer entered with worse news. Dahlia had posted a video. She sat in her dorm room, crying into the camera. According to her, you had used her for 4 years, abandoned her for a billionaire, stolen back a research project she helped create, and used Voss security to frame an innocent student. Most of it was nonsense. One sentence was not. Landon knows what happens if Pierce Motion loses Phoenix, she said. He knows his father will collapse. His mother will sell the house, and he will end up alone again. That is why he is acting crazy. Your blood went cold. Again. She said again. Those details had not happened yet. Nobody in this timeline knew about the stroke, the house, or your final isolation. Nobody except you.
And apparently Dahlia.
The video ended with her asking you to meet privately before Aurelia ruined both your lives. The room became very quiet. Aurelia replayed the sentence. How does she know your mother sells the house? You could lie. You had lied by omission since waking beside her. Every strange prediction, every perfect suspicion, every sentence about coming back had been a loose thread. Dahlia had just pulled all of them at once. Because she remembers, you said. Remembers what? You looked at your parents, the attorney, Theo, and the woman whose final message had reached you seconds before death. A future that already happened to both of us. Nobody laughed. That almost made it worse. You told them everything. The stolen Phoenix files, the lawsuits, Harrison's stroke, Marianne selling the house, Dahlia's testimony, Corbin's threats, the mountain road, the failed brakes, Aurelia's final message glowing across the broken dashboard. You did not make the story beautiful. There was nothing beautiful about it. When you finished, your father looked 10 years older. Your mother asked technical questions because that was how she survived fear. Did Phoenix launch? Which controller version did they steal? What caused the final litigation loss? You answered what you knew. Theo asked for the exact road and approximate time of the crash. Aurelia asked nothing. She walked to the far end of the conference room and stood with her back to you. Aurelia, you said, you chose me because I sent a message before you died. That is part of it. Did you love me when you signed the agreement? No clever line appeared. No joke could carry this. I regretted rejecting you. I trusted what you tried to do. But no, I did not wake up magically in love. She turned. Her eyes were bright and furious. So I was the safe option. At first, you were the person I knew had not betrayed me. Then you listened to my conditions.
You gave me independence.
You fed me breakfast. You destroyed a gift transfer because we had agreed to wait. Those choices are why I'm falling in love with you now. Falling? Yes, present tense. Honest tense. The room had become painfully interested in the table. Aurelia took one slow breath. And if I had been cruel in this life, I would leave. Her jaw tightened. That answer hurts, she said. It should also make my staying mean something. She stared at you for a long time. Then she held out her hand. You crossed the room and took it. Choose me tomorrow, she whispered.
Gladly. Your father cleared his throat. Are we finished discussing reincarnation and romance? There is still an attempted theft. Your mother looked at him. Our son just described your stroke in another timeline, which is why I would prefer to prevent it. Classic Harrison. Emotional collapse rescheduled due to a board meeting. Dahlia contacted you again from a hidden number.
Meet me at the old athletics garage tonight. Come alone. I have the original transfer record from our first life. It proves Corbin and Malcolm planned everything. If you bring Aurelia, I destroy it. There was no reason a record from the previous life should exist now, unless Dahlia had recreated it, or unless she was using information only you would recognize as bait. Theo traced the message through 3 relay accounts and lost it at a public terminal. She expects you to come, he said. She's right. Aurelia's hand tightened around yours. Before you say no, you continued, we don't go alone and we don't enter blind. We make her believe I ignored you. Theo sweeps the building. Police wait outside the block. I wear a transmitter. No, that is still not a question. Will you please allow me 5 minutes to imagine locking you in the penthouse before we discuss the sane version? Yes. She closed her eyes. Exactly 5 minutes later, Aurelia opened them.
We use my plan, which is everything you said, plus a second transmitter, thermal surveillance, independent air sensors, and Theo enters the moment your pulse exceeds 140. My pulse reaches that when you kiss me. Then do not flirt during the hostage operation. Theo rubbed the bridge of his nose. I miss protecting normal executives. You never protected normal executives, Aurelia said. A man can dream. The old athletics garage had been closed for renovation. Dahlia chose it because the university security network did not cover the interior. At 9, you arrived in an ordinary sedan. The Bugatti remained inside a secure Pierce motion bay under 6 cameras and 2 guards. You were no longer volunteering your most valuable objects for obvious traps. Personal growth looked boring from the outside. The garage doors stood open. One work light burned above a folding table. Dahlia waited beside it. No tears, no helpless expression, no expensive handbag.
For the first time in 2 lifetimes, she looked tired of pretending. You came, she said. You knew I would. Because you always need answers, even when the answers destroy you. Show me the record. She placed a drive on the table. Tell me why you chose Aurelia so quickly. You know why. Because she tried to save you? One message erased 4 years with me? No. 4 years with you erased themselves. Dahlia flinched. I died too, she said. That caught you. When? 11 months after you. Corbin sold Phoenix, moved the money offshore, and blamed me for the theft. I threatened to expose him. He put me in a car and drove it into the river. For one dangerous second, you felt pity. Then you remembered the midnight lab visits in this life. You returned knowing he killed you, and you still worked with him. I returned knowing where the money would be. I planned to take my share first and disappear. So your second chance was the same betrayal with a better exit strategy. Don't judge me. You ran to the richest woman in the city on the first morning. I signed boundaries with someone who loved me. You stole the same technology that destroyed both of us. Those are not equivalent choices. Dahlia pushed the drive closer. Corbin changed the plan. He knows the fake code is marked. Malcolm told him before the arrest. Your stomach tightened. How? Malcolm had a second channel. Corbin never intended to release the stolen package. He wants to sabotage the North Circuit demonstration on Monday and make Phoenix kill a driver in public. Monday. The board meeting and the Voss prototype demonstration were scheduled at the same circuit. Investors would watch Phoenix control a high-performance electric vehicle. If the system failed there, Pierce Motion would die before any theft case reached court. Which vehicle? I don't know. He stopped trusting me after your campus performance.
The drive. Promise me protection. I can promise your evidence reaches the prosecutor. I cannot erase your crimes. Aurelia could. Aurelia won't. Dahlia laughed bitterly. Then what is the point of sleeping with a billionaire? That question explains why you never understood either of us. She slid the drive across the table. Before you touched it, the air sensor hidden beneath your collar vibrated. Chemical alert. Your transmitter sent the emergency code automatically. Dahlia saw your expression and grabbed a filter mask from beneath the table. I'm sorry, she said. Corbin has my sister. Gas hissed from the ceiling vents. You kicked the table over and ran toward the open door. It slammed shut. The lock clicked from outside. Of course. A meeting in an abandoned garage had upgraded itself into a hostage situation. Your life refused to use moderate settings. You pulled your shirt over your mouth and smashed the nearest window with a wrench. Reinforced glass, barely a crack. Dahlia fitted the mask over her face. He only wants you unconscious. His last version of unconscious involved a mountain. Your vision blurred. The work light became 2 lights, then 4. You heard an engine outside, not a sedan. A heavy crash shook the garage door. The metal bent inward. Theo's armored vehicle hit it again. Hinges tore loose. Clean night air flooded the room as security rushed inside wearing respirators. Aurelia entered behind them. Her expression made the gas seem friendly. She reached you, pressed a respirator to your face, and dragged you into her arms. You lasted 7 minutes, she said. New record? For obeying a safety plan? Yes. Dahlia raised both hands. Corbin forced me. Aurelia turned toward her. May I say something unkind now? You inhaled clean air. 1 sentence. If he dies, no prison on earth will be far enough from me. Dahlia believed her. So did Theo. Security found a camera inside the light fixture. Corbin had watched the entire meeting. The drive on the floor contained real documents, payments from Malcolm, instructions for the original theft, and a circuit equipment schedule. But the schedule had one missing page, the page identifying the sabotaged vehicle. Then Theo received an alert from Pierce Motion. The Bugatti's garage seal had been opened. 2 guards were unconscious, and the car was moving. Corbin had never needed you inside the garage. He needed you away from the Bugatti. The vehicle carried the only complete Phoenix test module outside the company vault. It also had access credentials for the North Circuit Safety Network. Aurelia looked at the tracker. Can you stop it remotely? Corbin copied the old authentication system. If I send a standard lock command, he can capture the emergency key.
Then what can you do? You watch the Bugatti race toward the expressway. Give him exactly what he thinks he stole. You opened the Phoenix engineering portal through Theo's tablet. Before the patrol cars could close in, you pushed a telemetry update to the Bugatti. The screen reported normal operation. Underneath, the real module switched into witness mode. It began recording every command, network connection, driver input, and external device attempting to control the vehicle. Corbin's theft had just become a rolling confession. Do not disable it, you told the police coordinator. Follow at distance. Let him reach his destination. That is a $3 million car, the coordinator replied. Aurelia took the tablet. It is insured. The evidence is not. Follow his route. Nobody argued with the owner of half the city's surveillance contracts. The Bugatti left the expressway and entered a private Shaw automotive facility near North Circuit.
Cameras caught Corbin behind the wheel. He connected an external controller to Phoenix. Witness mode copied the device signature. Then Corbin discovered the hidden recorder. The tracker vanished. The screen went dark. He found it, Theo said. No, you replied. He found the tracker. Witness mode stores locally. Which means we need the car back. Before Monday. Aurelia looked toward the open garage door. Then we take it tonight. With a warrant. You make everything less entertaining. That is why you need me. Police used Dahlia's drive, the stolen car footage, and the recorded external connection to obtain an emergency search warrant. By midnight, officers entered the Shaw facility. Corbin was gone. The Bugatti remained inside an empty test bay. Its Phoenix module had been removed. On the driver's seat, Corbin left a note. See you Monday. The man was committing industrial sabotage and still found time for theater. Absolute clown behavior. Back at Pierce Motion, you opened the vehicle's witness log. Corbin had connected the stolen, marked controller for 4 minutes. The system captured its hardware signature, but not the destination vehicle. Then one line caught your attention. VOSS-X9-04.
The Voss X9 was the electric prototype scheduled to run Monday. Unit 4. You called Aurelia's chief engineer. How many X9 vehicles are at the circuit? 3, she replied. Units 1, 2, and 3. 4 was retired after a battery failure. Where is it? Storage, South Tunnel. Theo checked the circuit feed. Unit 4 was gone. Corbin had not sabotaged one of the official prototypes. He had rebuilt a retired one and inserted it into the demonstration fleet. The fake package would not control it. The stolen Phoenix module would. And that module carried valid access to every safety vehicle at North Circuit. The trap was bigger than a public crash.
Corbin intended to make it look as if your system had commanded the crash. North Circuit opened at 8 Monday morning. The board vote began at 9. The demonstration started at 10. Corbin had arranged one miserable schedule with excellent efficiency. You spent the weekend inside the Pierce Motion workshop. Engineers inspected every official prototype, every transport seal, and every line of code. Voss security searched the circuit tunnels. Police circulated Corbin's photo. Nobody found Unit 4. That should have been impossible. A car was not a flash drive. It could not hide inside somebody's pocket. Then your mother pulled up the circuit logistics map. The sponsor vehicles arrive Monday morning, she said. 34 electric cars from 6 manufacturers. They used the south inspection tent, not our garage. Corbin did not need to hide the X9 inside the circuit. He could wrap it in another company's body panels, change the transponder, and drive through the sponsor gate. We inspect all 34, you said. Aurelia shook her head. If we shut down the event, he knows we found the plan. You want the demonstration to continue? I want him arrested with the controller in his hand. Right now we can prove theft, unlawful access, and the garage attack. Malcolm will still claim he acted alone. Corbin's board will call him a confused heir who borrowed the wrong vehicle. That is an extremely expensive definition of borrowing. His lawyers are extremely expensive. She was right, and you hated it. The safest choice was cancellation. The strongest legal choice was letting Corbin move while surrounding him with enough protection to prevent harm. In your old life, you had taken reckless risks because you wanted to prove yourself. This time, the decision affected a driver, a crowd, and hundreds of employees. Heroic feelings did not get a vote. No live driver in an unidentified car, you said. We replace all sponsored drivers with remote units after inspection. Fire crews at every turn. Physical kill switches. And no spectator sits within the runoff zones. Aurelia nodded. Agreed. Your father looked at both of you. When did my son start running joint security meetings? When your brother tried to steal a control module through his ex-girlfriend, your mother replied. Former girlfriend, Aurelia corrected. Marianne stared at her. Important distinction, Aurelia said. Your mother smiled. I think I like her. Aurelia's entire posture changed. One compliment from your mother achieved what 3 days of your flirting could not. Apparently, the ruthless CEO also wanted parental approval. You stored that information for responsible use, and absolutely no teasing. At 2 a.m, you rebuilt the Bugatti's Phoenix unit from spare hardware. Corbin had stolen the original module, but the vehicle's witness log gave you its last authentication seed. You created a new master key and revoked the old one. If Corbin connected the stolen unit to the circuit, it would look valid for 10 seconds. Then the new Phoenix module could identify it, isolate its commands, and take over the target vehicle. Simple in theory. In practice, you had to pair 2 cars moving at highway speed while somebody actively tried to crash one of them. Very normal Monday plans. Aurelia entered the workshop carrying coffee. You have been awake for 20 hours. 19. That is not a defense. The pairing routine needs another test. Your hands are shaking. You looked down. Annoyingly, she was right. 10 minutes, you said. 4 hours. Impossible. Then I shut down the demonstration. You turned toward her. You wouldn't. Try me. There were moments when Aurelia's control problem remained deeply useful. You saved the code and followed her to the office couch. Wake me in 2 hours. 3. 2.5. Deal.
She sat beside you until your eyes closed. When you woke, 3 hours and 12 minutes had passed. Aurelia, you looked peaceful. You violated the deal. I accept the penalty. What's the penalty? You may drive my circuit at dangerous speed while I sit beside you. That sounds suspiciously like your plan. An excellent agreement benefits both parties. At 7:30, North Circuit looked more like a festival than an engineering test. Investors filled the hospitality suites. University students crowded the grandstand. Reporters waited beside the pit lane. Giant screens showed Pierce Motion and Voss Global logos rotating above the track. Online, the scandal had become free advertising. Half the audience came to see Phoenix Core.
The other half came to see whether the billionaire's new fiancée arrived in the Bugatti or got dumped before breakfast. You gave them the car. The Bugatti rolled through the main gate with Aurelia in the passenger seat. Cameras turned so quickly that one operator almost dropped his rig. Your public relations department arranged this entrance, you said. No. The gold carpet matches the car. Coincidence. There is a 40-foot photograph of us above the garage. An unrelated coincidence. The photograph came from the university parking lot. You were holding the breakfast bag. Aurelia was looking at Dahlia as if considering whether the campus had a return policy. You approved that image. I approved the car. Your face happened to be nearby. Naturally. Theo opened your door. If the married flirting is complete, somebody found a sponsor vehicle with a false transponder. There it was. The disguised X9 had entered beneath the badge of a small battery startup.
Its body panels were different, but the wheelbase, cooling ports, and power signature matched Unit 4. It sat inside Inspection Tent C. No driver. No external controller. The transport operator had abandoned it after showing forged documents. Corbin wants us to find it, you said. Theo agreed. Too easy. Engineers opened the hood. The stolen Phoenix module was mounted behind the front inverter. A wire ran toward the brake controller. The trap vehicle had enough malicious code to lock acceleration, disable manual braking, and overheat the battery, but it was not connected to the circuit network. Decoy, your mother said. You checked the equipment list. 3 official X9 prototypes had passed inspection on Friday. All 3 seals still appeared valid. Appeared. You scanned the seal on Unit 2. The database accepted it. Then you tilted it beneath the light. The hologram reflected backward.
Someone had photographed the real seal, printed a perfect copy, and reversed the image during transfer. Unit 2 was the real trap. The disguised, retired vehicle existed only to pull security toward Tent C, while Corbin replaced an official prototype. You opened Unit 2's service panel. The controller bay looked untouched. Too untouched. Every screw sat at the same angle. Real technicians never achieved that without trying to hide something. Theo found a pressure sensor beneath the panel. If anyone removed it, the controller would trigger immediately. Can you disarm it? Aurelia asked. Yes, if Corbin gives me an hour and a handwritten apology. He is unlikely to cooperate. Then we leave it closed and remove the car. You reached for the transport mode. The screen woke by itself. Remote session active. Corbin was already inside the system. All garage doors dropped at once. Unit 2 powered up.
Its wheels spun against the chocks, throwing rubber smoke through the bay. A technician jumped aside. The chocks snapped loose. The prototype shot toward the closed pit door. Theo pulled the technician clear as the car smashed through the lower panels and entered the lane. No driver. Corbin was controlling it remotely. "Clear the track!" Aurelia shouted into the radio. The demonstration had not begun, but a camera helicopter was already circling. Giant screens showed the empty prototype accelerating past turn 1. Spectators started cheering. They thought it was part of the show. Of course they did. Your engineering tablet displayed the malicious commands. Corbin aimed Unit 2 directly at the battery pavilion, where investors, board members, and your father were gathering. "Emergency barriers," you ordered. Hydraulic blocks rose across the service road. Unit 2 changed route before reaching them. It was using the stolen Phoenix module to read circuit safety commands.
Every defense became a navigation signal.
"We need to pair locally," you said.
Aurelia was already walking toward the Bugatti. You stay here, you told her. She stopped. That sounded like a command. Will you please stay somewhere protected while I chase the remotely controlled bomb? No, you need a driver while you handle the pairing routine. Theo can drive. Theo has never taken turn 7 above 180. Theo nodded. She is unfortunately correct. You tested the circuit without telling me? Different argument. Later. The prototype crossed turn 3 and accelerated. You had no time. Fine. You drive. I pair. Aurelia smiled. Ask and you shall receive. You entered the passenger side. Theo secured the door and leaned toward the window. Pulse limit still applies. My pulse is already past it. Then try not to die. The paperwork would be unacceptable. Aurelia launched the Bugatti. The engine roared down the pit lane.
The crowd cheered louder. On the giant screen, the headline appeared automatically. Live Phoenix Core Safety Response. Some public relations employee had decided to turn the emergency into content. You respected the instinct and planned to fire them later. Unit 2 ran 30 seconds ahead. Its battery temperature climbed because Corbin had locked maximum output. At 54 degrees, the damaged prototype could enter thermal runaway. Current temperature? 43. Catch it before turn 7, you said. I know my circuit. Aurelia took turn 1 without lifting. The Bugatti pressed you into the seat. Your tablet almost escaped your hands. A warning would be nice. You told me to catch it, not launch me into a new timeline. The Bugatti cut the distance in half by turn 3. You opened Phoenix pairing mode. The new master key searched for the stolen module. One device appeared. VOSS-X9-02. You requested emergency control. Denied.
Corbin had removed the physical confirmation sequence. The old master key treated his remote device as the driver. Again, Aurelia said, it won't accept. You always say systems have more than one door. They do. The second door is usually illegal. We are chasing my stolen prototype with my Bugatti on my circuit. I grant permission. That is not how computer law works. It is how my patience works. You entered the low-level service channel and pushed a diagnostic request. The stolen module responded with its marked hardware signature. For 10 seconds, old and new Phoenix versions recognized each other. That was your opening. You injected a safety handshake through the Bugatti's headlights. Vehicle-to-vehicle signals bounced across the track. Unit 2 rejected the first sequence. Battery temperature, 46. The malicious controller opened full acceleration. Aurelia brought the Bugatti within 6 meters. The prototype swerved toward you.
Corbin sees us, she said. He sees the Bugatti. Keep left.
The X9 struck the Bugatti's rear quarter. Carbon fiber screamed. Your door nearly met the barrier. Aurelia corrected with one clean movement and refused to give up the line. He scratched the car, you said. Her smile was terrifying. Now I am angry. She accelerated. You sent a second handshake, this time hiding it inside a routine tire pressure broadcast. Connection accepted. For half a second. Then Corbin's remote forced it out. Battery temperature, 48. Turn 7 waited less than a minute ahead. Beyond it stood the battery pavilion. Emergency barriers were rising, but the prototype could break through them at its current speed. You needed a physical code from the X9's rear service lights. Corbin had disabled the normal display, so you triggered a fault check. 3 red flashes, 2 white, 1 red. Your fingers moved across the tablet. The Bugatti hit a curb. You entered the last number wrong.
Denied.
Again, Aurelia said. There may not be another. Then make one. She pulled alongside the prototype. The X9 swerved again. Aurelia held position with centimeters between the cars. You requested a second fault check. 2 white, 1 red, 3 white. Your hand shook. Aurelia took one hand from the wheel and pressed it over yours. I have you, she said. You entered the code. Connection accepted. New Phoenix recognized the stolen module, revoked Corbin's session, and transferred emergency control to the Bugatti. You killed acceleration, disabled regenerative braking,
opened the cooling circuit, activated mechanical brakes in alternating pulses so the overheated tires would not lock. The X9 slowed. 50 meters before turn 7, it rolled into the gravel escape lane and stopped. Battery temperature peaked at 51.8. Then it dropped. The pavilion remained standing. Nobody died. For one impossible second, North Circuit went silent. Then the grandstand exploded. Thousands of people had watched Phoenix identify a hijacked vehicle, connect from another car, and stop it before impact. Corbin's public sabotage had become the greatest product demonstration Pierce Motion could never legally arrange. You leaned back and released a breath. Aurelia still held her hand over yours. "Did we win?" she asked. "The driverless bomb stopped, the battery stayed intact, and Phoenix just performed a feature we haven't patented. That sounds like yes." She grabbed your collar and kissed you. Helmet cameras sent the image to every screen in the circuit. The cheering somehow became louder. "Public relations," you said against her mouth. "I own public relations." "You say that about everything." "I own many things." "Not me." Her expression softened. "No, I choose you." Before you could answer, Theo's voice came through the radio. "The romantic broadcast is charming. Corbin is escaping through the south tunnel." Back to work. Circuit cameras caught Corbin leaving the remote control booth in a technician's jacket. He dropped the controller into a trash bin and ran toward the sponsor parking area. Theo intercepted him beside a delivery van. Corbin swung first. That was a poor decision. Theo avoided the punch, folded Corbin over the hood, and handcuffed him before the man finished discovering gravity. Police recovered the remote. Its access log matched the commands recorded by both vehicles. Cameras showed Corbin connecting the device. The garage footage linked him to the stolen Bugatti. Dahlia's drive linked him to Malcolm. For the first time across 2 lives, Corbin Shaw had nowhere to place the blame. He still tried. "Landon designed the controller," he shouted as police walked him past the pit lane. "He staged this to promote Phoenix. Aurelia paid everyone." You looked at the damaged Bugatti, the melted X9 tires, and a security team dragging a gas system from the athletics garage. "That would be an aggressive marketing budget," you said. Reporters laughed. Corbin did not. The board meeting reconvened inside the circuit hospitality suite. Malcolm, joined by secure video from detention. His attorney asked for the vote to be postponed. The board refused. Your father's removal motion failed 11-1. The one supporting vote belonged to Malcolm's suspended proxy and was immediately challenged. The Voss partnership passed unanimously. Investors who had spent the morning questioning Phoenix now competed to fund it. Nothing improved confidence like watching a 3-ton prototype refuse to become a missile. Harrison stood at the end of the table. His face remained controlled, but his hands trembled around the vote record. "Landon," he said, "the board wants to offer you Malcolm's seat." Every director looked at you. The old you would have accepted before the sentence ended. A board seat meant respect, power, and proof that your father finally valued you. It also meant receiving a position because of your surname and one dramatic morning. "No," you said. The room stared. Harrison's brows lowered. "You saved the company." "I helped. Mom found the logistics route. Aurelia ran security. Theo recovered the remote. Dozens of engineers prepared the override. A board seat shouldn't be a trophy for surviving sabotage. What do you want? A real job contract on the Phoenix safety team. Defined hours, salary, technical review, and no automatic authority over people who have worked here longer than me. I finished my degree first." Your father looked almost offended by the reasonableness. Your mother spoke before him. "Engineering approves the application process." Aurelia crossed her arms. "Voss Global will match any offer Pierce Motion makes." Harrison glared at her. "You cannot recruit my son during my board meeting. I can recruit talent anywhere." "No bidding for the fiancé," you said. "The engineer is the target. The fiancé is an excellent signing bonus." Several directors laughed. Harrison did not, but one corner of his mouth made a brave attempt. "Fine," he said. "You interview after graduation. No favors." "Good." That single word felt better than the board seat. Outside the suite, the press had multiplied. The campus video, Dahlia's accusation, the Bugatti theft, and the track rescue had merged into one enormous online circus. The most popular headline read, "Billionaire gives student a Bugatti to dump girlfriend. Then they chase a driverless car." Technically inaccurate, emotionally impressive. Aurelia's communications director wanted her to answer alone. Your attorney wanted no questions until police completed the search. Your father wanted to release a 12-page technical statement that could put an insomniac into a coma.
You chose the microphones.
Aurelia stepped beside you. "Together?" she asked. "Together." The first reporter raised her hand. "Mr. Pierce, did Ms. Voss give you a $3 million Bugatti in exchange for abandoning Dahlia Hart?" "No. She placed a test vehicle under a joint development agreement after I ended an unhealthy relationship. The ownership transfers after the Phoenix patent, so I admit the difference may look suspicious from a distance." Laughter moved through the crowd. "Did you begin seeing Ms. Voss before ending your previous relationship?" "The relationship with Dahlia ended by message yesterday morning. I accepted Aurelia's proposal immediately after. The speed was unusual. The decision was clear. Dahlia says you used her for 4 years and discarded her when someone richer appeared. You connected your phone to the media display. The complete message history appeared. Gift requests, tuition payments, homework demands, access card requests. The breakup."
Corbin's advice. Kendra's voice message. You removed private details unrelated to the case. Truth did not require humiliation as decoration. "For 4 years, I confused paying for everything with being loved," you said. "That was my mistake. Dahlia's decision to misuse confidential access was hers. Investigators will handle the crimes. I am not asking Aurelia to destroy anyone's life because my feelings were hurt." Aurelia glanced at you. You knew exactly what she was thinking. She absolutely could destroy several lives before lunch. The agreement was doing heroic work. Another reporter turned toward her. "Ms. Voss, do you financially support Mr. Pierce?" "Yes," Aurelia said, enthusiastically. The crowd laughed again. "Doesn't that make him dependent on you?" "His account is legally independent. His engineering work belongs to Pierce Motion under a separate contract. The vehicle agreement belongs to both companies. I enjoy buying Landon expensive things. He enjoys rejecting the paperwork and arguing about definitions. Neither hobby gives me ownership of him." "Are you genuinely engaged?" Aurelia lifted your joined hands. "Legally, yes. Emotionally, he remains under review. My performance has been outstanding. Adequate. You kissed me on a 40-foot screen. Temporary lapse in management discipline." The clip went viral before the press conference ended. By evening, the headline had changed. "Billionaire CEO admits she spoils fiancé. He made her sign boundaries." That one was much closer. The internet finished its jokes in 24 hours. The legal system took considerably longer. Corbin faced charges for conspiracy, industrial espionage, vehicle theft, sabotage, unlawful use of incapacitating gas, and enough computer crimes to make his attorney physically tired. The remote controller carried his fingerprints. Circuit video recorded him using it. Phoenix witness mode preserved every command. For once, money could purchase excellent lawyers, but not a new reality. Malcolm tried to claim Corbin manipulated him. Then, investigators opened the 3 encrypted phones from his study. They found earlier research sales, the $1 acquisition agreement, payments to the technician at Westbridge, and messages discussing how your father's stroke would improve the board vote. Harrison read that final message alone. When he came out of his office, he removed Malcolm's family photograph from the wall and placed it in a drawer. No speech, no broken glass, just one empty space where his brother used to be. You stayed beside him until he spoke. "In your other life," he said. "Did I believe you? Not soon enough. And after the stroke? You couldn't speak for several months. By the time you recovered, the company was gone." Harrison nodded. "I am sorry. You had imagined those words for 7 years. In the fantasy, they fixed everything. In reality, they hurt before they healed. I should have told you sooner about Dahlia's access," you said. "I was afraid you'd call me careless." You were careless. There he is.
Your father almost smiled. But carelessness is not conspiracy. I confused your mistake with your character. And I confused your criticism with hatred. Two Pierce men attempting an honest conversation was apparently more difficult than stopping a driverless bomb. Your mother entered with coffee and saved both of you. Dahlia cooperated with investigators after the garage rescue. Her evidence filled the missing gaps. Corbin had threatened her younger sister, but he had not kidnapped anyone. He simply sent photographs of the sister's school and let Dahlia imagine the rest. The threat was real enough to frighten her, not enough to excuse everything she had done before it. Her testimony reduced the charges. It did not erase the midnight intrusions, theft attempt, blackmail, or role in the gas trap.
Westbridge expelled her. The court ordered restitution and prohibited contact with you, Aurelia, Pierce Motion, or any Phoenix facility. Before sentencing, Dahlia requested one final conversation. Aurelia read the request over your shoulder. No. That is becoming your favorite word again. She lured you into a gas-filled garage. I believe the word is appropriate. The meeting would be through reinforced glass, with attorneys and guards. Why do you need to see her? That was the real question. Not jealousy. Fear. You set the request down. Because we remember a life nobody else lived. I don't want her back. I want to close the door while both of us can see it. Aurelia looked unconvinced. Will you come with me? You asked. Into the room? Wait outside. Be the person I leave with. Her expression softened by 1 degree. Fine. But if she asks you to run away together, I purchase the prison. Boundary violation. I purchase the vending machines. Acceptable. Dahlia sat behind thick glass in plain detention clothes. Without Kendra's camera, Corbin's instructions, or a gift to demand, she looked younger than you remembered. She picked up the phone. Did you ever love me? She asked. Yes. The answer surprised her. Then how did you choose Aurelia in one morning? Because loving someone is not evidence that the relationship is good. I loved a person I imagined, and ignored the person making choices in front of me. Dying made the difference difficult to miss. You think she's better than me. I think she respects the word no, even when it hurts her. You're still learning that people are not accounts you keep open for future use. Dahlia looked down. Corbin said we could take Phoenix, without ruining your family this time. Just enough money to leave. And you believed the man who killed you. I believed I could betray him first. That was your problem in both lives. You thought changing who won the betrayal would change what you were doing. She pressed her palm against the glass. When I get out, could we start again? Not as lovers, just something. The old you would have called that hope. Now you recognized it as a hook, even if Dahlia did not. No. Her face tightened. This was our second chance, you said. We used it differently. Whatever comes next, we live separate lives. Aurelia will get tired of you. Maybe. Maybe I get tired of her. Maybe we become 80 and still argue about bank cards. The future isn't owed to either of us. That's why our choices matter. Dahlia lowered the phone. You did the same. Outside, Aurelia waited with 2 coffees and a face far too neutral to be innocent. You listened? The attorney summarized. In real time? Very efficient attorney. You took 1 cup. I told her I loved her. Past tense. I dislike all tenses. Would you prefer a lie? No. I would prefer reincarnation to include selective memory deletion. Not available in this version. She glanced toward the interview room. Did the door close? You understood. Yes. Good. Choose me for lunch. Gladly. 3 months later, Phoenix Corp received international patent protection. Pierce Motion and Voss Global launched a joint safety division focused on vehicle software failures, battery protection, and remote attack prevention. Your father kept his promise. You did not receive a ceremonial office or a position with the word heir in it. You sat through a real interview. 5 senior engineers questioned your code for 6 hours. 2 voted against hiring you. 1 said your circuit performance was impressive, but your documentation was a crime against civilization. He was right. You rewrote the package, repeated the demonstration, and earned the position unanimously on the 2nd attempt. Youngest systems lead in the division. Not gifted, earned. That victory felt better than any board seat. On patent day,
Aurelia took you back to the Halcyon Hotel garage. The Bugatti waited under a cover in the same place where she had revealed it. The damaged rear panel was repaired. Every system had been inspected. The paint reflected the lights as though Corbin had never touched it. Theo removed the cover, with visible distrust toward the vehicle. "It is officially yours," Aurelia said. She handed you the title. You read every page. "No hidden conditions?" "1. Aurelia, you must allow me to drive it." "That isn't hidden. You wrote it in gold ink across the front page." "Then informed consent has been achieved." Theo handed over the key. "Congratulations. Please avoid additional thefts, fires, gas attacks, remote hijackings, and emotional confrontations inside the vehicle. The insurance company has started sending me sympathy cards." "No promises," you said. "I feared that." The allowance remained a separate battle. You had spent less than $2,000 from Aurelia's account. Most went toward textbooks, workshop tools, and one extremely expensive replacement coffee grinder after you broke hers. At the monthly review, she placed a chart on the dining table. "Your spending rate is unacceptable. My saving rate is excellent. The purpose of spoiling you is being undermined. Buy me dinner. I already own the restaurant." "Of course you do. Choose another." "A bookstore." "I can buy the bookstore." "One book, Aurelia. We are practicing retail restraint." She looked personally wounded, but she bought one book. Then she acquired the publishing company 3 weeks later and claimed the events were unrelated. You learned to choose your battles. University life became almost normal. Almost. Students stopped surrounding the Bugatti after a month, although Milo continued offering unauthorized tours until you made him clean every wheel by hand.
Professor Sato used the circuit rescue as a lecture example and removed your name from the slide because the class would not stop asking relationship questions. Dahlia's old seat went to a transfer student who knew nothing about you. That ordinary replacement felt more final than the sentencing. The world had not frozen around your tragedy. It simply kept moving. Aurelia attended your graduation and brought only 6 security guards, 1 car, and a private photographer. For her, this qualified as restraint. Your father shook your hand on stage. Your mother hugged you before the photographs and ruined the formal angle. Milo cried during the ceremony, blamed seasonal allergies, and then asked whether your company was hiring people with no useful qualifications but excellent loyalty. "No," you said. "What about social media manager?" "Especially no." After graduation, Aurelia waited beside the Bugatti holding a cardboard sign. "Sugar Mummy Taxi Service." You stopped halfway down the stairs.
"Who made that?" "Milo. He is fired from friendship. I paid him $200. You are funding corruption. Get in. Your allowance review begins at 6. I have a salary now. My right to spoil you is protected by contract. My right to complain is equally protected. That is why the arrangement remains entertaining." She drove away from the penthouse district and stopped at a small house overlooking the river. It had a 2-car garage, a bright workshop, and a kitchen that was suspiciously close to your preferred layout. "What is this?" "One option for a joint home." "Joint? You said we would decide later." "This is later. I selected 3 properties. You may reject all of them." The woman who once presented marriage as a command now stood quietly and waited for your answer. That change mattered more than the house. You inspected the workshop. The outlet sat at exactly the height you preferred. Aggressive due diligence? The real estate agent was unusually insightful. "You gave her my workshop drawings." "Unproven." You opened the garage. 2 spaces. One for the Bugatti and one left empty. "I like it," you said. "But ownership is divided by contribution, and monthly expenses follow income with a maximum ratio. My income would make your contribution decorative. Then we negotiate the cap." Aurelia smiled. "I was hoping you would say that." You moved in 2 months later. Domestic life with a possessive billionaire was expensive, strange, and full of footnotes. When you complained that the espresso tasted weak, Aurelia ordered 6 coffee machines. You returned 5. She replaced your wardrobe every season until you created a 1-in,
one-out rule. She responded by donating one pair of socks and purchasing one suit. The resulting argument lasted 40 minutes and produced an amendment defining categories of clothing. She was proud of the loophole.
You were proud of closing it. Neither of you was normal. Her jealousy did not disappear simply because the relationship improved. If someone flirted with you at a conference, her hand found your arm. If you worked late without calling, she became cold instead of admitting she was afraid. If Dahlia's name appeared in a legal update, Aurelia reorganized the kitchen with military intensity. You did not reward control. You also did not laugh at the fear underneath it. Ask, you reminded her. So she learned. Are you coming home tonight? Do you still choose me? Can I be jealous without making it your crime? Your answers mattered because the questions left space for them. You had problems too. Every time the Bugatti's brake warning lit during testing, you saw the mountain guardrail. Every unknown phone call sounded like Corbin. If Aurelia failed to answer for more than an hour, your mind returned to the message that arrived seconds before your death. At first, you hid it. Then Aurelia found you checking the garage cameras at 3 a.m. Ask, she said, using your own word against you. Will you tell me when your schedule changes? Yes. And if you're late? I call. Even during board meetings? Especially during board meetings. Watching directors wait while I reassure my husband improves discipline. You laughed, but the tightness in your chest eased. The agreement had begun as protection from Aurelia. Somewhere along the way, it became a language both of you could use when fear made ordinary words difficult. 1 year after your rebirth, Pierce Motion returned to North Circuit. This demonstration involved no hidden gas lines, stolen modules, false transponders, or criminal heirs hiding near delivery vans. Theo checked anyway. Twice.
Phoenix Corps coordinated emergency braking between 3 vehicles, identified a tire failure before the driver felt it, and stopped a simulated battery fire before the temperature warning appeared. Investors applauded the technology. Your father applauded you. Your mother cried into an engineering checklist and denied every accusation. After the final test, Aurelia asked you to drive 1 lap in the Bugatti. The sun had dropped behind the grandstand. Track lights reflected across the hood. You expected a quiet anniversary drive. At turn 7, every screen around the circuit lit up. Landon Pierce, please stop the car. You looked at Aurelia. Did you hack your own circuit? I authorized a display change. Hacking sounds criminal. Why am I stopping? Because your wife requested it. Fiancée. Temporary title. You pulled into the same gravel escape lane where Phoenix had stopped the sabotaged X9. Theo waited beside a small table. On top sat the handmade roadster model from Aurelia's birthday. This looks like an ambush, you said. An informed surprise. Those words fight each other. Aurelia stepped out of the passenger side and opened the model's base. A ring rested inside. For once, you had no joke ready. We signed an engagement agreement before we knew whether we could trust each other, she said. You chose me because you remembered a future where I tried to save you. I chose you because I thought possession was the safest version of love. Neither reason is enough for marriage. She removed the ring. This year, you argued with me, rejected gifts carrying the wrong terms, accepted generosity when it was honest, and treated my fear as something to understand rather than obey. You never became my property. You became my partner. Aurelia Voss, CEO of a global empire and owner of the circuit beneath your feet, lowered herself onto one knee.
Landon Pierce, will you marry me without a contract requiring it?
You looked at Theo. Is this included in your security duties? Unfortunately. Please answer before she buys another country to manage her anxiety. You turned back to Aurelia. I have conditions. Her eyes widened. Now? We keep asking instead of assuming. We don't buy countries during arguments. And Theo receives hazard pay for the wedding. He already does. Theo looked offended. Not enough. Then yes, you said. I will marry you. Aurelia stood and kissed you against the Bugatti. Fireworks exploded above the circuit. You pulled back. You hate extravagant celebrations. I hate birthday celebrations. Technical loophole. I learned from my husband. Still fiancé.
Keep arguing, and I move the wedding to tomorrow. The wedding took place 4 months later, in the workshop behind the river house. No investors, no media wall, no ballroom full of directors bidding on anyone's future.
Your parents attended.
Milo cried during the vows and blamed industrial dust. Professor Sato inspected the model roadster and quietly repaired its crooked steering before the ceremony. Theo stood beside you and checked the flower arrangements for transmitters. Aurelia caught him. Do you expect Corbin to escape prison inside a rose? I expect this family to attract trouble through architecture. Fair point. You wore the simple shirt Aurelia had placed in the hotel closet on the morning you returned. Both of you signed one marriage certificate. No company transfer, no vehicle clause, no ownership of another human being hidden beneath romantic language. When the officiant asked whether you chose her freely, you looked at Aurelia. Gladly, you said. Her eyes filled before she could hide it. After the ceremony, she handed you the Bugatti key in front of everyone. Another gift? No. You left it in my bag. Less romantic? Your allowance increased.
We agreed to review that.
We are reviewing it now. I vote yes. I vote no. Tie. The wife wins. That rule appears nowhere. Then catch me and renegotiate. She took the key and ran toward the garage. The CEO did not run gracefully. Her formal shoes lasted 6 steps before she kicked them off and kept going. You followed, laughing. In your first life, you believed love meant proving how much pain you could endure for somebody who always demanded more. You called exploitation loyalty. You called warning signs jealousy. You rejected the woman willing to stand beside you because her honesty felt more frightening than Dahlia's familiar manipulation. Then the world gave you another attempt. A billionaire offered marriage, an unlimited account, and a Bugatti if you ignored your girlfriend. From the outside, that sounded like the entire story. It was not. The Bugatti exposed the thief who wanted your family's technology. It carried the system that saved Pierce Motion.
It chased a hijacked prototype around North Circuit. It forced every secret into public view. But the car never fixed your life. Money never made Aurelia safe to love. Remembering the future never made you wise. Those things only gave both of you another chance to choose differently. Aurelia learned that protecting someone did not mean owning every decision. You learned that accepting love did not mean surrendering independence. Your father learned to listen before the evidence became a funeral. And Dahlia learned that a second life was not useful if she repeated the same betrayal with a different plan for the money. At the garage entrance, Aurelia held the Bugatti key above her head. One final condition, she said. What now? I drive. On our wedding day. Especially today. And what do I receive? She pulled you close by the collar. Something unreasonable. Your face heated. Milo cheered from the workshop. Theo turned away with the exhausted patience of a man reconsidering every career decision that brought him here. You opened the passenger door. Fine, you said, but I choose the route. Accepted. The Bugatti roared to life. The same machine that once made Dahlia reconsider your value now carried you away from the people who had tried to price it. Aurelia reached across the console and took your hand. No contract forced her. No memory forced you. This time, both of you were exactly where you had chosen to be.